I'm certainly ready. Let's do this.
Let's get ready to rando. And we are off.
And they're off and racing, and well, excuse me, princess. What does the uncle have in his chest? Oh, I should have gone with that, the 20 rupee.
Should have gone red rupee, Rick. It's all right, though.
All of 26 of them in this game.
Oh,
we get an early look. Yeah, we get an early look to see what the crystals are. What are they?
There are 3 crystals, crystals 1, 4, and 3. So all Light World dungeons are going to be required today.
That will make it very interesting, considering the fact that we might see a Dark World, or Light World, or Seed, or whatever you want to call it. So, obligatory sword pickup, obligatory search here, try to get bombs. You know the drill.
Yep, and Andy,
there's the bomb.
You shall receive.
Both of them gain the drops.
But these guys, again, incredible execution on the no major glitches run of the vanilla version of this game. Generally, most people try to get for a sub 6-minute escape, and both of these guys are pretty much able to do that while still farming for bombs.
You see how these guys are moving themselves through this entire castle? They know how to do all the tricks. They know how to do the pumping. They know how to get themselves to move the 2-speed all throughout the entire castle. You know, all these tricks. These things are what come into play when you're trying to move fast and escape. Well, Chest 3 had the piece of heart.
Close enough, Rick. Close enough. I'll give you partial credit. It's like being in math class again.
Oh, great. So I got a C+. At least it's not a see me after class.
That's right.
So, while these guys are going through the usual stuff here in Escape, you want to talk about how this race went last night, in case people didn't get to see it?
Oh, yeah. If you didn't get to see it last night, you saw what we saw last night, and hopefully we're going to see again, is an exhibition of amazing execution along with very good routing decisions. This match last night, as I mentioned before, at some point the runners took completely different routes. No high fives, not in the same places at the same time, and yet they converged towards the end. 1 minute 9 second difference between the two of them. Almost such a difference as to be almost incalculable. We're talking less than 1% difference.
See that kill from Mike the V against the ball and chain guy?
Impressive.
Wonderful kill right there. Andy's was good too, but I was just really impressed by the fact that Mike V didn't get hit and he had him right at the door when he knocked him dead.
Most impressive.
Well, mostly impressive. But you know, the first 6 minutes of the escape doesn't make a seed here. We're going to see how these guys do with the routing decisions. Rupee-wise, 27 rupees, not a whole lot. We'll see how that comes into play with the decision after they're done. But hey, they still got 4 more chests to tech here during the escape. Actually, 5 more if you want to count the sanctuary.
Yep. And they both have a bomb, so they'll be able to do that. The question is, are they going to have to buy bombs at Kakariko, or are they going to get the lucky 32 bomb pull from one of the trees on the way?
Yep, the prize pack could include the bombs in the trees, arrows, hearts, berries, or the rupees. Could be anything. Well, as they head into the sewers, pretty much 4 minutes, 12 seconds, and 4 minutes and 18 seconds. You know, both of these guys pretty much moving as fast as they possibly can. This is just the escape both of these guys prepare for, both being NMG runners.
So Andy just making his way through the ropes down here, not really trying to farm anything. This may come into play later when our runners get to Kakariko Village, because they will need 100 rupees to get whatever item the bottle merchant has. Plus, they may need 50 rupees to buy more bombs, depending on how the bomb drops go from here on out.
The way these guys are going, they're kind of confident they're going to pick some up before they end up leaving.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Take a look at the diagonal movements here, both of these players. It's all about that pumping. And let's find out what's in the 3 chests here during the escape.
Last night it was, no, I'm getting my races confused. I think it was the mirror shield last night, though. We've got lag meringue, we've got a piece of fart, and the toilet paper. There seems to be a little bit of confusion in the chat about what you're referring to with pumping. That refers to the fact that Link's movement in this game follows a specific pattern. Whether it's 2 frames, then 1 frame, or excuse me, 2 pixels per frame, then 1 pixel per frame, etc. But by, correct me if I'm wrong here, Rick, but by altering your diagonal inputs, you can manipulate the number of pixels that Link moves each frame. Oh, the hammer!
There's a beautiful early item here out of the Sanctuary's chest. I guess the priest won't be pounding any stakes for the rest of the seed. But yes, that's pretty much what the pumping is because it's trying to get rid of those 1 frame movements and keep them all 2 frames, which just allow you to move even faster.
Definitely an advanced strat, something that, you know, most people, myself included, didn't even know about before we started playing Randomizer.
Yeah, it's that kind of maneuver there that just explains the answer to the question, how do these guys get sub-6s during the escape continuously? And let's see what's in the Lumberjack Cave. Is Aghanim going to be required? Nope, 3 bombs.
Kablooey. But I think the chat will agree with me here, Rick, that most people would rather see a pedestal required seed than an Aghanim required seed.
It's going to actually be very tough with 3 Light World Crystal Dungeons to see that happening. I mean, it could possibly still turn up. It all depends on where. Well, no more worried about rupees.
None whatsoever.
But it all depends. All depends on where those pendant dungeons end up in the Dark World.
I played 2 consecutive seeds that were pedestal required, and the Ether Medallion was on both of them.
Ooh, second group, but the poll is 4 green rupees. So I'm not liking the tree pulls today.
No, they're not really cooperating with our runners, but that's okay. Oh, there's arrows from Andy. Not quite helping either.
So arrows, single rupees, and
magic decanters.
Large decanters. Ew.
Well, it's kind of a fair trade-off for finding the hammer so early. The hammer being the item that has the most dependencies in the entire game.
Now, wouldn't this be something if they found magic powder here in Kakariko Village?
An immediate Batcave check.
Yeah, Batcave check 9 minutes into this run. Now, this is not the normal path for these guys through the village. Then that's because their bomb count both equal 0.
So they're doing the alternate routing here, which means that our runners here may opt to skip checking the library and the race game because of the additional time that it takes.
What are we going to find in the Chicken Shack today?
Andy missing
Another
the chicken clip.
Piece of heart. That extends his life now to 4 hearts.
Yep. Lots of love in this seed so far. Now, in our race last night, all of our runners found another piece of fart from the bottle merchant.
24 of them in the game, and I think we have now found 5.
Yeah. But as I was saying, our runners found all 4 300 rupee pickups in about the first 20 minutes.
That game, what did Zora have that game? Oh, there's Red Mail. What did Zora have that game?
I think it was just a piece of fart.
Titan's Mitt. Wow.
Boots!
And the boots. Well, hello, stupid jet seed.
Ho. Things just got a whole lot more interesting, Rick.
Yep, say hello to fast movement for both of these guys. Again, a bottle in the The A bottle as well as the magic powder would make this a very interesting Kakariko village now.
Indeed it would. We're looking at there's the blue cane.
Second best cane of the game.
That's right.
Now, you mentioned earlier about them skipping the library. There's no reason to skip the library now.
Nope.
Oh, there's a single arrow of validation. Don't you have a saying for when they find the red cane? You gotta come up with a saying for the blue one, though.
Well, it is the second best cane in the game. I don't know. I'll have to figure out something to do with some famous Brian.
Nice. You see Andy using the dash speed to help get him through the remainder of that village. That, once again, is great execution here, and we're seeing Mike the V do the same thing. And bombs in the library, that is not a good report.
No, not at all. Not what our runners were looking for. But what about the race game today? What have we? Just $20.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a definite no from both of these runners. Time to head to the South Shore. So all this stuff is nice right now, but we are still lacking something that can actually get these guys a dungeon to be finished.
Absolutely. And all 3 Light World dungeons are going to be required. So we need the bow to finish Eastern Palace. They'll need the book or the flute and the mirror to take care of Desert Palace.
Also fire source.
Yes, and a fire source. And possible fire source, but almost certainly the mirror for Tower of Hera. There is the riot shield as well.
Also, the hook shot could get them into the Tower of Hera too, so not necessarily the mirror.
Correct.
Either or, they've definitely got some options here on the table, but they need some help getting them to where they end up needing to go in the next stage of this game after they get done doing South Shore. And
chat giving me some ideas for the second game, like Brian Caneston. That's actually pretty good. I like that one. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll debut the new name next race I commentate, because it's a little late for this one. But we do have guys saying high five in the mini Moldorm cave with its 5 items. Could this seed get any freer here?
More love. More money. There's your book.
There's the literacy. More money and mo money.
More money, more problems. Well, so once again, we have a book. That's great. But we still have dungeons that can't be beatable at this point.
Yeah, they have the boots. They may check Desert Palace later after they've checked, everything else here, but they still cannot complete the dungeon without a fire source.
You know what would be very interesting at this point? If we find the Moon Pearl really soon, which would suggest a trip to Thieves Town, even though we don't know if it's going to have an item that they need.
Yeah. We're about to see from Mike the V what's on Lake Hylia Island. It is $20, a piece of fart in the Ice Rod Cave, and now Mike the V is going to break the logic a little bit and hit the hobo.
That would make 8 pieces of heart now, as Andy gets his life to be extended.
Yeah. And yeah, lots of early love plus the red mail. The seed is looking kind of free right now.
All right, Hobo, what do you got for us? Hey, there you go. Go ahead, say it.
That's gotta be Kane.
The red cane, Cane of Samaria. Almost always required. A nice find to find here on Mike the V's end, and Andy's about to find it. So with his cane in hand, both canes actually, he's going to head on over to the eastern area, see what Sarashla has in store.
Safety deposit box in the back of Sahasrala's house there, while Andy also finds the big red monster cane.
And with the boots, they don't need to spend any bombs to get back here, and we're going to find a heart container, money, and bombs.
Very disappointing. Sahasrala needs to improve his inventory.
He only had 50 rupees. What is he going to get? The Taj Mahal?
So Mike the V's gone back to Sanctuary. He's probably going to check the Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb here.
Yep, King's Tomb first, then the Bonk Rocks, and then I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up to Death Mountain now.
No, not at all. Not particularly with the Titan's mitts. Without the Moon Pearl, he's not going to be able to get or the Moon Pearl and the hook shot. He's not going to be able to get everything on Death Mountain, but he will be able to make a pretty good dent.
So Andy, once again, stalking Mike the V at this point. And Andy heading on over to King's Tomb. Mike the V still with the lead at this point, as he now will head over to the Bonk Rocks. Let's see what Dash Cave has in store for us today.
And Bonk Cave is bombs. So bombs in both King's Tomb and Bonk Cave.
When you have a maximum capacity of 10 bombs, that is not something you want to see.
This is now officially a Dark Magician seed.
So he's Christian this run, has he?
All right, so Mike the V doing exactly as you predicted, Rick. Heading on up to Death Mountain. Gonna get the old man here. And what is the old man gonna have today?
So the next stage in this logic will either come via the old man here or Spectacle Rock, or it's got to be Southwest Corner, Desert, and or Agina's Cave.
Don't forget the fish man.
50 rupees, no.
No hype from the old man today. It's sort of like when your grandparents used to say, "Come here, I'm going to give you a quarter." Thanks, Grandpa. How about some of those 20s?
Grandpa's spending those 20s on the ponies, and then we find the mushroom on Spectacle Rock.
And the shovel in the cave. So, Spectacle Rock of fetch quests today.
People are saying that your grandparents sound creepy.
Yeah, well, I'm older than everybody else. For my grandparents, a quarter was a lot of money.
A quarter could have bought you 17 pieces of candy.
That's right.
Oh,
Andy
hover
with the
strats here
hover!
from Andy. He's got it. Now let's just note how quickly that caught up the gap here.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people don't realize how long 15 seconds actually is, particularly in a race like this. Both of our runners gonna
300 rupees, and Mike the V is gonna pick it up because, well, we need Zora money.
That's right. And we gotta hope that he has more in store today than just a life lesson.
Those bad life lessons. So Mike the V now heading on over to the southwest corner. Andy ending up saving and quitting. He's going to do the same thing, but I'm thinking Mike the V's path was actually quicker.
I think you're right, Rick. So on the ledge, we will have today the Power Glove. It's so bad and so unnecessary because our runners have already found the Titan's mitts.
So nothing progressive there, but what are the 2 items in Desert? Can we get any of them? Well, we're guaranteed to get one of them.
That's right. But without a fire source, we cannot complete the dungeon. However, our runners can always come back later through the back door and skip all of this if they have a fire source.
There's only a maximum of 5 possible items left at this point for these runners to find. Actually make it 6.
Agnes Cave, 2 here in Desert Palace. And what are the other 3?
Eastern.
Ah, yes. Well, yeah, possibly 6, depending on the layout of Eastern, because they yet to have pick up the bow.
Absolutely. You're guaranteed 1 here in Desert. You're guaranteed 2 in Eastern. So you've got a minimum of 4, but maximum of 6.
And as the chat is rightly reminding us, don't forget Zora
Bottle.
and Pyramid.
Well, first, they can't get to the Pyramid right now because they do not have a cape or a higher sword that gets them up to Aghanim.
Yep.
Second, Zora right now is a sequence break. Actually, no, I take that back. He's not a sequence breaker because I got the Titan's Glove.
Yep.
Titan's Mitt.
the chat pointing out that, and you as well, that is a bottle, so that also opens up Sick Kid.
Yes, that now makes another possibility here on the here in this run here, Mike the V. I would assume we're gonna find an item here,
and we do.
There it is. So this dungeon is not beatable.
Nope. But they can be rest assured that that they have found everything and that there's nothing hiding at Lanmola's.
That is correct. Now the next stage here is to go see what Agina has.
Yep. Got a question in the chat. Am I from North Carolina? No, I am from Alabama. So, just thought I'd answer that.
A slammer, huh?
Yes, right.
So yeah, Zora is a possibility. Just like the two minimum items, 3 maximum Eastern is at this point. Agina, Sick Kid. So we are now at 5 possible items at this point. Until we find out that this has a piece of heart. Nope, sorry.
So much love in this seed.
So the question is, what does the Sick Kid have? Because as you mentioned before, that is their first bottle. We did not have a bottle the first go around. So Mike the V is going to find out what the Sick Kid has.
Looks like it.
We do know the mushroom was up on Spectacle Rock. You need a mirror to get to it. Wouldn't that be something that's a nice, hilarious fetch quest?
Unfortunately, it couldn't be the most fun where, say, the mushroom leads to the shovel.
Ooh,
we have
ether. Yeah, that's a nice thing to find, although we don't know if it's required at this point.
I'm channeling my inner cross product here, but does the fact that the Sick Kid have ether means that he had a really bad cold?
You didn't think that. We'll just move on from here. You just brought him his diamond tap.
So Mike the V is saying, you know what? I didn't check Ice Rod Cave first time around. Let me go do that now.
No.
Nope.
He's fake flippering to Zora. And so too is Andy.
Yep. This should be interesting. It's a little bit quicker this way than running around by the witches. Even with the boots.
And Mike the V gets out of the water. We're going to find out what's on here on the ledge. Is it something important? Is it something required?
Just another piece of fart. And Mike the V realizing, oh wait, I don't have flippers. I can't go that way. I have to go the long way to get to the big fish man.
All right, 500 rupees is going to yield our runners today. What is it going to yield? The cave!
The magic cave.
Okay, well, that is interesting. For what we mentioned a few minutes ago about not having access to the pyramid.
But it will give our runners access to the bumper cave because they can go to Kakariko Village, and because they have the Titan Smiths, they can take the Dark World portal directly to Village of Outcasts. But Mike the V is saying, you know what? I've had enough of this. As is Andy. They're saying, we got the cape. We're going to Aghanim.
So both runners heading on to Aghanim now.
And as the chat is rightly reminding me, they need a moon pearl for that.
This seed here is getting to be extremely interesting.
Oh, without a doubt.
The only other spots that there could be something if this trip to the pyramid comes up with nothing. Nice hammering stretch here by Mike the V, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But the only other possibility, if this turns out to be nothing, would be Eastern Palace. That is the only other possibility at this point.
As Chad is rightly pointing out, Aghanim's tower with fighter sword. Arg.
No, they're not at Argus yet.
Oh.
That would be a whole bunch of fun. We have clips of ACMLM doing it on Saturday night with quite the most efficient menuing you'll ever see in your life.
That's right. And of course, we had our famous call with Ninjembro doing the eyeball dance.
Oh gosh.
Fighter's Sword Vitreous.
Game 3 of that series coming up Friday night.
It's difficult to generate any hype in Aghanim's Tower because, as Eternally, I mentioned that until you get to the pyramid, there is no possibility of any item being in Aghanim's Tower.
Andy's execution here through Ganon's Tower has now allowed him to catch up to Mike the V.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy with his hover strats, with his execution, is incredibly impressive.
And he takes the lead.
Wow.
You want hype here in Aghanim's castle here? Take a look at both of these screens and just watch as Andy is just running it through. These guys are tight together right now.
Well, leave it to these runners to actually be able to generate some kind of hype in Aghanim's Tower by itself. Andy has overtaken Mike the V, and he's a good 7 seconds ahead going into Aghanim.
Mike the V does lead this race with 1 extra bomb and 6 rupees, but time is of the essence here.
Almost synchronized by Felicia's from Aghanim here.
And he goes up here to Aghanim. And what can we say about Aghanim except for this is pretty much as scripted can be now that the blue balls have been removed in Randomizer.
Because no one likes blue balls.
I'm not even going to go any further on that comment at this point.
What are you talking about? They're annoying as heck. You can't reflect them against Aghanim, and you take damage from them, so nobody likes them.
The programmers did. As they laughed in our face while we get all upset as it ruins a world record attempt, even though it's only, about 25, 30 minutes in when a person is at this stage in this race or run.
The only unfortunate thing here is that neither one of our runners has the bug catching net, and so there are no Swaganim strats.
Egging them down, egging them down.
And the pyramid item for today.
Oh, well, look at this. All the Western Hyrule are pendant dungeons. Skullwoods, red. Thievestown, green. Blue is Misery Mire. And the Moon Pearl, as you stated, here on the ledge, which is great for both of these runners. They can now turn into Link and do some things here in the Dark World. Can we get some hype for the Dark World Hype Cave? So, Phantom Ryu.
Sir.
Do you know what this means?
This means we have Hype Cave.
We have flippers in the Hype Cave.
And
the Fire Rod. And the bow! And bombs. And money.
With the flippers, fire rod, and the bow, Hype Cave certainly living up to its name in this particular seed.
So we get ourselves some great items here. And by the way, if you wanted a pedestal hype, you're now reduced to the ice rod. Whatever medallion is required to get into Turtle Rock, or the hook shot.
Yep,
or
that's pretty much it.
The mirror.
It's true. Yes, Swamp Palace is a crystal dungeon, so yeah, that's the only dungeon that absolutely requires the mirror. So
there's the Quake here from Mike the V over at the Haunted Grove.
All right, 2 out of 3 medallions. So there's only a 33% chance now of the required medallion being on the pedestal.
And the heart containers that pick up here. And with Sanctuary Heart too.
Sank Heart. Hype!
And to answer chat, flute cannot be in the pedestal because the flute is required to get into Misery Mire.
Everyone's favorite dungeon, along with Ice Palace.
Oh, come on. Tell us how you really feel.
I actually don't mind Ice Palace as much as I used to be honest with you. I still don't like Mire, though. Andy checking out Sea Hut here. What will we have today?
50 rupees.
You know, when we have players with amazing execution here, as we've talked about before, but wouldn't it be awesome if there wasn't a single sword upgrade until Ganon's Tower? Talk about our runner's execution. They'd really be able to show it off then.
What if... Interesting. What if... Nah, there's no way it could be. I was going to say what a pedestal was going to be for the Master Sword.
Hook shot!
There's the hook shot. All right, well, that removes one of our pedestal hype opportunities. So diving into Green Pen at Thieves Town is required, as Hetty finds the hook shot.
And Mike the V is... We see our first really big route divergence here, as Mike the V is going to go the north Dark World route, and on Bumper Cave we're going to find 20 bucks. Not really useful, but he has a couple of other places he can hit here. But note that he does not have the mirror, so there are some places that are completely blocked to him right now, like the ledge above the graveyard.
In fact, that's the only place he hasn't visited yet, since he did the King's Tomb earlier. He's heading to Catfish.
With the way this seed started out, a bunch of good and required items, and now they're again starting to run out of overworld locations. At least, I can't say this is a bad call.
Well, at this point, with the fire rod, with the bow, with the hookshot, all 3 light world dungeons are now beatable.
That's right. So I would not be at all surprised if we see a save and quit from Mike the V and a beeline to those light world dungeons.
He can't. Oh, there's the mirror on Mike the V's end, and that takes care of 2 of the 3 items that could have been in the pedestal for us. The only opportunity now would be either the bombos, if that turns out to be required for Turtle Rock, and the ice rod. Andy, with his hook shot in hand, is going to explore and see what's on Death Mountain.
Mike the V, without the hook shot, looks like he's going to dive into Pod, but he has the mirror, which means he can do Pod and back-to-back that with Eastern Palace, which is a great time saver.
So, as you mentioned, this is our first huge route divergence. And that's all because Andy decided to explore the much apparently required Thieves Town. Unless you know how to hover, and then you really have to hover a lot if you're going to be trying to do the hook shot. Oh, actually, no. Hook shot you do need because of Swamp Palace.
That's right.
So both of these guys honestly have items that the other one wants to have right now. Andy has the hook shot. Mike the V has the mirror.
And Andy might have more here with these 5 chests. There is the ice rod!
Guys, throw away that pedestal hype. We have pretty much just squandered that flat now.
Yeah, there will be no pedestal in this race. And Andy doing the hovers.
Unless it's bombos.
Slightly.
Still hoping.
Yeah, we can still hope, but
we did have a ring of fire be the pedestal.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Okay, we're moving on. We did have a ring of fire turn out to be in the seed where Willa Jade Bradley and In the Name of DT played. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, not only that, they both managed to complete that seed in about an hour 40, pedestal required. Impressive. Looks like one of our runners just did get Bombos.
By the way, we did find Bombos, so there we go. Pedestal gone. Good night. And there's the first kick there from Mike the V here, and showing off the same football skills that Christos Owen showed a few days ago. And he gained the big key and just putting a mini molder and pretty much squished on one of those orange blocks.
Mike the V is going to full clear pod, but as we saw earlier, having the mirror makes it a whole lot easier. There's the big key. While Andy is going to clear Tower of Hera, very quick clear normally.
And say goodbye to Mike the V as he ends up going down here into the basement. And these guys at this stage in this tournament, they know they're lampless strats.
Oh, absolutely. We saw both of these guys do, we saw Mike the V do all dark rooms last night. Andy did find the lamp earlier on in the seed, but Mike the V did every required room dark.
Silvers could be in the pedestal, yes, but if the silvers turn out to be in the pedestal, we're going to have a silverless Ganon, just like we did in the three-way race, where Elminster, F. Coughlin, and Dark Ori ended up finding silvers in that pedestal.
And both of these runners are very comfortable doing silverless Ganon. The only question is, will they have to do Master Sword silverless Ganon?
Oh, God. Nice hammer kill there from Andy.
Again, showing that is a lot harder than it looks. So, because of the delay on the hammer and the fact and how fast Moldorm moves.
By the way, Andy has to go down to the basement if he wants that second item. And he's going to say no.
Now, we have seen Tower of Hera basement be determinative in a run before. What if the flute is that item? Because that's the only item that's required that we don't know where it is yet.
It's actually not required.
Oh wait, that's right. It isn't. Misery Mire is not a crystal dungeon or a pendant dungeon. I'm fired.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm out. See you guys later.
All right. We'll be having someone else fill in this place up in the Phantom Rio spot in just a few moments. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and tell you that if you want to find out more information about this tournament, do !ALTTP. This is game number 2 of 3 between these two great runners. Phantom, come back. I'm done talking.
Oh, no. Well, you got to remind everyone as well. Not only can you find out more about the randomizer by using that command in the chat, but also make sure that you follow these two runners here on Twitch, Andy and Mike the Viewer, as well as follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. We have a whole lot more Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer tournament coming at you. We also have the Wizathon this week as well.
Oh, yes, that's correct. Now, Andy, by the way, in this chat just kind of directed our attention to it. Once he finds the mirror, he's on go mode.
That is correct.
And don't forget, if Andy wins this game, it forces a game 3 between these guys coming up tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Quake is the required medallion for Turtle Rock, so that Bombos, not required.
Nope. There could be lots of yummy goodness hiding here in Hookshot Cave. Remember, our runners, technically if Andy finds the mirror, he'll be in go mode, but remember, he doesn't have a sword upgrade yet. Magic
is nice, and they are correct in that sense, so it would be quasi-go mode, just like it was for the Ninjembro newbie race a couple of weeks ago.
That's right, because you can do everything. You can actually complete Ganon's tower, you just can't kill Ganon himself with the fighter's sword.
So Andy's taking a look here at the Spike Cave. Let's see what that has in store.
He's got the Kane O'Brien plus half magic, making it a whole lot easier to get through there.
Hey, there's the blue meringue on Mike the V. And there is the flute.
Not required, but the flute can give Andy a mobility advantage, a massive mobility advantage.
So, Palace of Darkness down for Mike the V. He's going to mirror and head over to Eastern. Do the back-to-back, as you mentioned. Andy, he is off to the Swag Duck. And I am not in the name of DT. I'm not going to sing it. I am not cross-product. I'm not going to do the jazz theme to it. All I'm going to say is let's just enjoy the noise.
And please rise for the playing of the Hyrulean National Anthem.
Thank you. Now, with that being said, Andy is going to collect the duck, and he's going to go check out the Misery Mire area. Wouldn't that be something if Buttersword ends up over here?
Buttered, tempered, or master, I think our runners would be glad for any of those at this moment. But definitely the stick of butter would be the...
well, that is interesting. In order to get into Misery Mire, you need that bombos that's up on the island.
Silvers!
Oh, baby! Silver arrows there in the Misery Mire shed. That is a leg up here for Andy for later.
Particularly with the dearth of sword upgrades that we've seen so far. Now remember though, we are not on progressive swords in this particular version of the randomizer, so it is entirely possible that the butter sword is hanging out there easily obtainable somewhere. But silvers is a huge difference in the Ganon fight.
Andy's heading off to Eastern. He can't do the back-to-back combo because he is missing the mirror because he didn't make it over to Catfish earlier. Mike the V, realizing he's still short of items, going to go ahead and check the big chest room. I think he might actually have to go in here.
So neither one of our runners in go mode, so they will be full clearing Eastern Palace. They're kind of high-fiving here, but so it's going to come down to when Andy decides to go to Catfish. And remember, that is a very low percentage location, particularly considering that both of our runners have already checked Zora. So a lot of times runners will like to do the Catfish check as they go to Zora, but obviously without the mirror that's not possible, but that's still making it less likely that Andy would think to go to Catfish because it's so far out of the way.
Andy needs to make it to Catfish. Mike the V needs to get the hook shot out of Thieves Town.
And needs to find his ice rod as well.
So both of these runners are in different predicaments right now. They're going to find the items in due time, but who finds the items and goes on go mode faster is going to be the big difference between who wins and who loses this race. If Andy, by the way, goes on go mode when he gets into Palace of Darkness, that's going to be a fast sweep based on where the big key turned out to be.
Yeah, and as we saw last night, as soon as these runners go into go mode, it's blink and you miss it because their execution is so good.
And Andy needs to win to force a game 3 of these guys tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Bombs the drop here from the Armoses, and Mike the V now takes a 2-1 crystal lead, which won't last for too long because Andy's on his way to crystal number 2 himself.
That's right. But also look at the fact that even though the crystal count will be tied, Mike the V would have Palace of Darkness, whereas Andy would have Tower of Hera. Palace of Darkness is a much longer clear than Tower of Hera.
Mike the V now is heading up towards the Tower of Hera, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does the Tower of Hera and then goes into the eastern end via the hammer.
That's right. And the fact that he does not have the hook shot will not make much of a difference because Hookshot Cave, don't recall it having anything required. It was a Spike Cave that had the flute. And even though the flute's not required, it's still.
I'd tell you more, but I'm dealing with a spinning circle on my end. So if you can give us an update of what's going on your end, let us know.
Well, we'll let you know. Mike the V is picking up the big key here in Tower of Hera. He's going to mirror right back out and go upstairs. Andy is going to make short work of the Armos Knights with the silver arrows. One shot versus each one of them. Very, very easy fight there for Andy.
And I think I'm back.
All right. As we see right now, just make sure you're synced up. Mike the V is just exiting the room with the 3 squiddies, and Andy has just exited Eastern Palace.
If you say so.
Andy looks like he is going to dive into Pod. We will get to see his dark room navigation skills that we were unable to see last night. Mike the V opting to do a bomb jump to get across. He does, as if there were ever a doubt. And meanwhile, Andy is going to get extorted by Kiki the monkey here for about 110 rupees. As Mike the V heads up to the Troll Dorm himself. Mike the V looks like he is going to use... looked like he was going to use sword strats. He says, nope, I'm bringing out the hammer. My execution is awesome. 1, 2, 3. Troll Dorm goes down as Andy gets started in Pod.
And without the mirror, this is going to be a heck of a route here from Andy.
Yep. Yeah, without the ability to just warp right back to the beginning of Pod, Pod is a slog.
So Mike the V is going to go down to the basement. Now, we know there's nothing going to be interesting down here in the basement.
It could be a sword upgrade, though.
It could be a sword upgrade. You are right. It could be a lamp, which would also be nice to find.
Hey, I love lamp.
I heard.
So Mike the V missing the iframe trick with the pegs there, so he's going to have to, from prison, deflect or dodge the tiles that are coming at him. But that's going to be that's no hill for a climber, as the old saying goes.
So, Mike the V is taking this moment here to slash at tiles. Finally gets it through. Let's find out what the prize is for getting through this today. The second item at the Tower of Hera is going to be...
Drumroll!
Another bottle with red goo in it.
with 10 hearts and red mail, very seriously doubt either of our runners are going to need that. Mike the V doing exactly as you predicted, Rick, heading over to the east side of Death Mountain.
He will see the bombos there, but can't do much about it at this point. But he's going to be happy for the items he will pick up here.
I just want to give everyone fair warning. I have just begun to thunderstorm over here in my area, so if I were to disappear at a second's notice, you would all know why.
We listen to the crickets chirp. And we see that Andy has disappeared from our screens, just like we saw from Mike the V a little bit ago. So Mike the V is about to come across the ice rod. That was, the only big thing that we found here in the Death Mountain. Isn't that correct?
I believe you are, as usual, 100% correct, Adirondack Rick.
No, don't give me credit.
Yeah, but Andy's saying, oh, you guys didn't get to see me navigate dark rooms last night? Watch this stuff. Going through the maze of darkness right now, pretty much flawlessly. Of course, we'll only be able to see certain items as he opens the chests. So,
And I believe he's now survived the entire gauntlet, down to 2 hearts, so thankfully he's all done with the dark rooms. And we find the heart pickup. There's the ice rod, the 4x the V, and then there's everything else.
yeah. That's the important part, is that ice rod. So Mike the V only lacking the hook shot to enter go mode. Andy attempting a bomb jump here. Or is he intentional deathing?
Death abuse. Which is very annoying considering the fact that he's got red man.
Exactly what I was about to say. Why do I have to be so tough and strong?
But he finally gets his game over.
Yep.
And he will continue on this path through the panels of darkness. Mike the V continuing his search here through Death Mountain. Probably will do the bonk cave. Or rather the bonk over to the one chest he can get to.
Right.
In the hookshot cave. Which wasn't anything spectacular, I believe.
So it's interesting to note here that Andy lacks the mirror. And the mirror is at hookshot, a low percent location. Mike the V lacks the other way around. Mike the V lacks the hookshot, which is in Thieves Town, which is a pendant dungeon. So it's all going to come down here to when these runners decide to check those unusual locations.
100 rupee pickup here from Mike the V, which is not what he wanted to find. So the sooner both of these guys find that one location, the happier they will be. Now, you notice where Mike the V's going.
Back to Tower of Hera basement, apparently.
No, he already got that.
He's going to Spike Cave.
He's going to Spike Cave. Because you know what Spike Cave's going to lead to?
The flute.
And you know what the flute's going to lead to?
Left side of Misery Mire.
Which had?
Oh, you're making my head hurt again.
I'm not going through the tortured logic spiel again.
Silver arrows, ladies and gentlemen. So that will put these guys on an even playing field as far as a cannon fight goes.
Exactly, and that's where I'm going with that. So the advantage that Andy had from getting the silvers in the shed, that is going to disappear.
Yep.
And on top of that, because he has the mirror, Mike the V will have the ability to check to see what is in the checkerboard. And because he has the mirror as well, he'll be able to complete Desert Palace now.
That's right. Because... So when will Mike the V, though, decide to check Thieves Town? That is going to be a determinative factor. He's going to activate his flute here for Swag Duck Theme version 2.
Sorry, I can't do it.
It's alright, it's over with anyway, Rick. We're off the hook. Mike the V is going to flute off, and he is heading exactly there. No,
Andy,
he's going to turn in his mushroom drug deal. What will the drug deal have today?
Hey, Andy, you need a key to get into that door.
Oh, and he just saved and quit, too.
Yeah, because he beat the Helmasaur King, so he was done with Palace of Darkness. He just wanted to see what was in that chest. So now Andy's gonna go Ice Palace. Mike the V going to pick up some silver arrows.
Interesting choice from Andy going to Ice Palace. 3 items, but a slog to clear.
And you know that Mike the V, when he goes into Ice Palace, he's going to be on go mode.
Right. Well, he could conceivably go into it without the hook shot.
Yeah, and more than likely, he wouldn't have to go deal with that hook shot there, so that is a possibility. So you're right.
But I would surmise, though, that most of our runners would, if possible, choose not to head to Ice Palace without
in a
hook shot.
bottle for Andy. Andy, her contender for Mike the V, he says no. And Mike the V is not going back into the portal. He's not thinking of going into Desert Palace. Okay, now he thought about it. He's going back into the Desert Palace now.
He's going to use the ledge here to head in the back door so he doesn't have to go through that long cinematic of opening up the front door.
Ice Rod was in Eastern Death Mountain.
That's right.
The mirror was Catfish. The hookshot that Mike the V needed was in the first floor of Thieves Town.
And I think if faced with the hover strats from Andy again.
We can't be interrupting Andy's hover strats.
No, not at all. There must be silence as we watch hovers.
And without a better sword, we're going to be seeing the use of the hookshot. So where are these sword increases?
I'm assuming that they're all in Ganon's tower. But yeah, we still have some locations left. We got the breadsmiths, we've got the lunchbox, we've got another hover from Andy. We've got
I love how you segued right into it.
Yeah. We've got Batman, we've got Pegs, we've got... I don't think either one of our runners has hit Old Stumpy or the cave south of the Haunted Grove.
They did get Stumpy. He had, I believe, a piece of heart.
There's still a lot of locations yet to be checked, but if our runners get the items that they need to go into go mode, I have to believe that they're going to head straight on to Ganon's tower and just hope for a sword upgrade there.
Is Mike the V thinking about going into Thieves Town? Could this be the play he needs to make?
It's either Thieves Town or Skull Woods.
And he is going towards Thieves Town.
4 items, very close together, very quick to check.
Is he going into the dungeon? Yes, he is.
And the question is, will he full clear it? Or, well, no, he won't, because he's going to get the hook shot, and then he's going to say, all right, that's it. I'm in go mode.
Yep, once he gets this hook shot, he'll be done. And he's about 15 seconds from doing that. And there we go. Boom. The hook shot pick up there for Mike the V. He now realizes that he's going to mirror on out. And ladies and gentlemen, Mike the V is on
go mode.
18 minutes in. Mike the V is looking at his arsenal. He wants to make sure before he starts planning out the rest of his seed. We don't know where the sword upgrades are. What is this with me and Phantom Rio doing seeds that are tormenting us with late sword upgrades? We saw it in Game 2 between Ninjambro and Newbie.
It's because it builds hype, Rick, and you and I build hype. That's got to be it.
That works for me.
It's about the runners, and an absolute display of execution from both of these guys, regardless of the outcome of this match. Andy, with the half magic, going to make short work of Cold Stare here in the first phase, but the second phase is going to be tough. He does have Fire Rod and half magic. He's going to be able to take out... There's 2/3. He's out of Fire Rod now.
Ooh, he's got to be careful. Hammer time.
Oh my.
Well, there we go.
Execution.
There we go. Into the court. He got him.
Wow. Because even with the red mail, Cold Stare still hits like a truck.
For a piece of heart.
But,
oh my goodness.
but the all-important crystal.
Unbelievable. 4 crystals to 4 crystals. Mike the V is working on crystal number 5. And Andy has to do a save and quit. There's no way out of where he is right now. We are seeing Mike the V check chests that are not off the far and beaten path.
Hoping for a sword upgrade. And Mike the V, it's also important to note, he is in the one dungeon that Andy cannot get into right now because Andy does not have the mirror.
Where's Andy going now?
You think he might be checking the troll chest? Well, he can't. He can't even get in to Swamp Palace, so that's not it. Does he have crystals 5 and 6? He may.
He has crystals 5 and 6. Now, more importantly, could this actually get him to go check Catfish afterwards? And he left a bomb behind and now has to spend another 100 rupees.
Well, at least he's got plenty of money. We have just passed the hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. We have one of our runners in go mode. Now, Andy has killed Aghanim. He could have...
He has no mirror.
Shortcut. Oh, he has no mirror. That's right. Taking some serious hits to try and get that bomb up there.
Mike the V still checking chests, looking for that elusive sword increase, because he knows he can't do anything to Ganon with a fighter sword.
That's right.
Something is missing. The big key?
That would be what's missing. So if Andy finds Butter Sword here in its vanilla location, that would be interesting.
That would be very interesting. We find 10 arrows and a bomb increase, and no.
Bum, 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 bum.
The big question is he going to check Catfish? It looks like he's going to.
It looks like he will.
Here we go, guys. Andy is on his way to Catfish. This is the move he needs to make. This is where the mirror is.
This is go mode for Andy. And wow, that's all I can really say right now is wow.
Mike the V still checking chest here and coming up empty here in Swamp Palace. And we see red. It is not the tempered sword. It is 20 rupees. Andy about to get the Catfish. What's the Catfish going to have for Andy? He's going to have... Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Go mode for Andy. It is the magic mirror.
And now with the magic mirror, that's going to put Andy right onto the pyramid. And, oh, we're going to do the spinning strats here against Argus. No room to do the hammer here. We're just going to go ahead and save our pause menu timer here by just doing the spin slash. Give Mike the V credit for doing it like this.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely the hard way to do it, but it's... I don't know if it's... When he's missed a couple of these, I don't know if it's necessarily faster than pulling out the hammer or not, but it probably is.
Oh, doing the hammer strat's faster. It's definitely faster than this. It's just you don't want to have a 6-minute menu time. Although, to be fair, what was ACMLM's timer on Saturday night? It was, what, about 4 minutes?
Don't remember. All right, so he's taking care of the hard stage of Argus here. Is he going to use... Okay, he's going to go for the silver arrow setup. He got it. One shot, silver arrow, dead Argus. Who drops
the big key, of course.
In a bit of an FU to the player.
And we're not going to see Mike the V go back in.
No.
Not at this stage.
Not at all.
And so Mike the V now down to Turtle Rock and Ice Palace. Andy needs Swamp, Desert, and Turtle Rock. This could come down to the end too, though. Desert's not a long dungeon.
No, not at all.
So where's Mike the V going?
It looks like he's going to do Turtle Rock before Ice Palace.
That is an interesting decision if he does do that. Or maybe he's checking the hookshot cave while he's up in this general area to give him those 3 extra chests, which would give him access to, and just based on the way he's actually going about this, he is going to check the hookshot cave.
Yep.
He'll be happy to find the half magic. That's going to definitely help him out.
Oh, certainly, but you got to think that if he made this trek all the way up here, and he can, you might as well do Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you've got red mail, you've got 11 hearts. You might as well go into T-Rock.
And once he gets out of Hookshot Cave, he'll have the half magic, so that won't even be a concern either.
So for both of these runners, we say they're on go mode, but as we had noted before, this is a quasi-go mode.
Right.
Because you have to have a Master Sword or higher to do any damage against Ganon. He does not get any damage whatsoever by the Fighter Sword.
Worst comes to worst, however, let's say there are no sword upgrades in Ganon's Tower. Then it'll just be down to scouring the locations that are left until you find one sword upgrade. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if that occurred in this race? No sword upgrades in Ganon's Tower, and they have to search Hyrule for a sword upgrade.
Mike the V is going to do Turtle Rock.
Yeah, if he made the trip all the way up here, it would be essentially a waste of time to make a second trip.
That's because of one big reason. If he can do Ice Palace on Go mode, he doesn't have to worry about sword upgrades.
Less than half the time.
Absolutely. And we're going to see spin strats here from Andy as well. Although now he's up. Nope. There we go. It's because he's missing one of the items on his menu, the Bombo, so he's going to have to do this a different way. So when you guess Andy's menu time, guess high. Oh, he's trying to do double hammer. Oh, and there we go.
Worked. Wow, that is impressive menuing though there from Andy. Oh, he tried to pull out the flute. The flute's not going to help him.
No, it isn't. I mean, we were treated to a symposium by ACMLM when he did this Saturday. There's really hard to compare to this, and it also goes by the fact that you're missing that the Bombo, so it's drawing you off.
Right.
And there we go. He got him down. He got the silvers all ready to go. Fire the arrow once. And miss. Fire it twice.
And that works.
There we go.
Yeah, the longer this goes without a sword upgrade, I would love to see that. And because I'm mentioning it, it's not going to happen. But I would love to see them go all the way through Ganon's Tower with no sword upgrade. And then it's a race to the first sword upgrade to see who can get it first.
Mike the V going to be going up against these chain chomps. He's got a good, healthy set of keys at this point. And we find a blue rupee. Nope. And he's going to go take the back doorway into Desert Palace now. Will he check the checkerboard cave before he does it? Nope, not yet.
Nope.
Both of these guys know each other. They know how well these runners are. They know how well each other are. There's no reason to slouch. You've got to go your fastest when you're playing each other.
Without a doubt. And they, Andy mentioned that in his post-match interview last night.
Mike the V still in search of a sword upgrade. Is going to check the island. The island has a small key.
So Mike the V going ahead and checking the vanilla big key location here in Turtle Rock. You've got to believe that he's searching for a sword upgrade. You got to wonder, is he going to... He's got the mirror shield, so highly likely he might check the laser room.
He's going to check the laser room. He's going to check the mimic cave. He's going to check anything he can that's on this route. Andy. 1 missed. 2 missed. Well, there's 3. We finally get one.
And 4 and 5 ring true as well. Not a bad land Melissa kill there.
And the burrito pickup here for Andy.
Oh, Mike the V is going to check the Mimic Cave.
Andy is off to Turtle Rock now. And that's all he has to do left. Oh, I like this strategy here from Mike the V.
Yeah.
And what's going to be in the Mimic Cave? What are we going to find? A sword increase of Tempered. Mike the V is now officially in
go mode.
I wonder if that's one of the first times this entire race that the Mimic Cave has actually provided something useful to our runners.
It's been a while.
And watch Butter and the Master Sword turn out to be...
Kind of lost you there, Rick. The Master Sword and Butter Sword turned out to be where?
Watch it turn out to be in Ganon's Tower.
We will see.
So Andy's going to find that sword. He's gonna, if he doesn't check the Mimic Cave, that is going to be a huge break here for Mike the V.
I imagine that he would, because it's not it doesn't take all that much time away from you.
But watch, Mike the V still has to go back down. He still has to do the Ice Palace. And Mike the V has to check these chests because he needs the key.
That's right, and you may end up checking all 4 of them. It'd be interesting if you found Butter Sword as well.
Hell no, he's not going to even check that 3rd one now.
No, not at all. Why would he? He's got everything he needs. Tempered Sword? That's all we need. I got Tempered Sword and Silvers. I'm fine.
So Mike the V still has to do... There's the beautiful dash right there by Mike the V. So Mike the V now going to be going to Ice Palace once he's done with Trinex. Tempered Sword's going to make this a whole lot easier. His lead right now is based on how long it takes for him to complete Ice Palace and get all the way back up here to Death Mountain.
Meanwhile, Andy is going to be able to kill off Trinex and head straight over to Ganon's Tower. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a race on our hands.
We do. And once again, Andy needs this to force a Game 3.
That's right.
Mike the V wins this. He's off to the round of 8, the Elite 8. The first player to make it to that round, where he'll face the winner of the Unos, Crystals, Owen Best of 3 matchup. That should be a lot of fun, that match.
Whew. It's the competition is getting absolutely fierce here in this tournament.
Mike the V is done with Trinex. Trinex, what do you got for us? A heart container.
So yeah, Mike the V is just a flute and a short swim away from Ice Palace. Or excuse me, a mirror, a flute, and a short swim away from Ice Palace. Well, Andy is going to be clearing up Turtle Rock. It's going to be close. I can't even prognosticate who has a lead at this point. It is very, very close.
A decision from Andy in about 90 seconds from now is going to make a big difference.
Yes, it is.
Mike the V heading into Ice Palace.
Yeah, whether or not he checks the Mimic Cave. And don't forget too that we still have the all-important left-right decision in Ganon's Tower if it's available.
Andy's not checking the island. Will he skip the Mimic Cave? My goodness. This could come down to that decision too.
Moment of truth here. No, he's going that way, so it looks like he will be checking the Mimic Cave.
We don't know yet.
Yeah,
he
it's
could
true
be
that
just
we
going
don't
to
know.
get the big Yes, 'cause he only has one key right now.
That's true.
You don't want to gamble on that one key and have to take the long trip back up.
He is
not going to check Mimic Cave. He is not checking Mimic Cave.
This could be huge. That could, if there's not a sword upgrade in Ganon's tower, although with 22 chests, it's highly likely that there will be at least one. But if let's say that the big key is within the first couple chests in Ganon's tower, and Andy will almost assuredly keep going, checking other chests, looking for a sword upgrade.
I get the play that Andy is making. You and I would probably make the same play too if we were on go mode and have the confidence that both he and Mike the V have.
I agree.
We just based on what we know about that Mimic Cave. It is a big decision at this point, depending on what we find in Ganon's tower.
That's right. Because it is real easy to sit up here when you have the benefit of watching both runners and knowing where almost everything is, to say this is a good decision, this is a bad decision. But remember, our runners are playing without all of the information that we have.
Remember that one chest that Mike the V did not check? Andy's going to check it.
And it's
the map. That last chest is going to have the mirror, or rather the key. Like, this is an exciting finish that we don't know what's going to happen. Stay tuned, guys.
No.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
We are not going to know anything until both of our runners are in Ganon's tower. Look at this. Both of them heading to the bosses of their respective dungeons at almost the same time. You've got to think that Andy will have a little bit of an advantage because he doesn't have nearly as far to go to get to Ganon's tower. But Andy does not have a sword upgrade, and he's not going to get one from Trinex.
And he's going to have to do this the hard way against Trinex too, so that's going to allow Mike the V some time to get up the mountain.
That's right.
2 of the heads, 3 of the heads down here. Cold Stare's done, and what a quick attempt here by Andy here against Trinex. He's got 2 tempered, leveled hammer hits onto the heads here. Gets the ice head almost done. Yep, he's done. It's now time to go up against the main body.
And it looks like our runners are going to begin Ganon's tower at very, very similar times.
Hammer strats here from Andy.
Amazing.
Getting Trinex over. And he gets him down. Look at that here. That execution by Andy, tremendous. Phantom Rio, we do something right about this time every single time somebody's about to go to Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I think it's something about there are 22 chests in Ganon's tower, but only one of them can hold the big key. Now, Rick, I'm going to let you pick first, but I have to say, I will not be picking 13 this time because last night it was 13, so I've got to pick a new number. But you first, my friend.
Number 7.
Adirondack Rick going with lucky number 7. I am going to say number 9. Tonight.
Ooh, the fireball room, if that
That's right.
turns out to be the case. Andy entering Ganon's tower.
So Andy with a very slight lead here, getting into Ganon's tower, but that lead may be evaporated by the fact that he is going into Ganon's tower with the fighter's sword, but he is fighting for his tournament life tonight.
And there's no guarantee that there are sword increases here. He is just hoping there is right now. 1:18:37 for his entry into Ganon's tower. Chest 1, a heart container. Chest 2, 50 rupees.
I tell you, I will lose my mind if Andy finds the butter sword. I'm just going to say that right now.
That will almost be game over at this point. And a small key, so say goodbye to Bob.
Goodbye, Bob. We hardly knew ye.
It's okay. They need that key. 1:19:11, Mike the V entering Ganon's tower. So we're talking about a very small difference between both of these runners. Andy first to check chest 4 through 7. We find the burrito, the map, 300 rupees.
And since there was not a small... There's the big key!
The big key gets 6, but he's not done.
No. Oh.
Oh my goodness. Andy still has to search Ganon's tower because he only has the fighter sword. Mike the V is coming up to chests 4 through 7 now.
And because there was no small key in the first 2 chests, there was no possibility of either of our runners going the right side. So the left-right gamble is not going to happen this time.
And Mike the V gets the big key. He is going to mirror his way, and he retakes the lead.
And Andy having problems with the boomerang strats because it was hitting both of the crystal switches. Oh, this is heartbreaking if Andy ends up losing this race.
And it's all because he didn't check a cave that normally does not have anything interesting whatsoever. The Mimic Cave.
Nope.
Chest number 9 is a red rupee. Mike the V up against the Mimics, which are pretty much mimicking Andy right about now.
Yeah. Alright, so we have Randomizer room coming up here. If there is not a sword upgrade in here, this is almost going to be the end of the race. We have red rupee. We have a heart container. We have a piece of heart and a fire shield.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Andy is mirroring out. He's just going to go right up the tower now.
He's
Now,
hoping for
what?
those last 4 chests.
Yes, exactly. What if one has it? What if one has it? What if one has the butter sword?
You gotta think though that Mike the V has outstanding execution, and the fact that he has tempered sword is gonna, I mean, he's gonna have to screw up here in Gauntlet for Andy to have a chance, because Andy has the fighter sword.
Well, things like this will help Andy out just a little bit, but, you know, Andy's execution against Tower has been very top-notch before.
That's very true. And you can't count out RNG on Aghanim 2, and the fact that we have seen very, very high-seeded racers fall on Ganon before.
Andy here through the room number 1 of the Gauntlet. Mike the V now up under the 5th floor. Oh, Mike the V messing up here in the Wizrobes. And he finally gets the 2nd cycle down.
Yeah, it's going to take a couple more mistakes like that for Andy to catch up, though. Nice pot strats for Andy here in that Gauntlet room.
And nice 1 cycle there for Mike the V in the 2nd Wizrobe room. Andy with the fighter sword going up Ganon's tower. The only other sword we had found is the one that's in the Mimic Cave. Mike the V was searching for it. Andy passed it by.
That's right. And that, oh god, I would hate to be Andy watching the VOD of tomorrow.
And Andy now onto the Lamb Mold as Mike the V halfway through the 6th floor. Mike the V's routing here has been pretty good. Went into Thieves Town at the right time. And, you know, there's a lot of things you talked about, this swirling tide of emotions here. Not going to Catfish when Andy did. You know, other things like that. Fast kill of the Wizrobes. Mike the V is done with Moldern. Will he check the chest? No, he won't.
No, and I can't imagine that you would. You're knowing how fast the seed was, knowing who your opposition is. You're not gonna check it if you got tempered red mail at this point and silvers.
Mike the V off to Aga 2. And Geometry gets him a triple. There's a triple. 1, 2, almost a triple there,
triple
just a
and
little
double.
outside. He just needs one more hit.
A bit outside.
Green goo in a bottle.
Oh.
And arrows. Andy has got to be feeling sick right now.
Oh, without a doubt. There are 2 more chests. He is pinning his hopes on 2 more chests here, but even if there's a butter or a master sword in there, it may not be enough.
Mike the V off to Ganon. Andy has to do this hammer strats on Moldern too. And he gets him down easily. Full validation chest tab.
And that's why he didn't hover, because he needed this chest to come up. It's just
a piece of heart. Oh no! And he's going to mirror. He's not even going to go to Aga 2.
He could beat Aga 2, but
oh my god. Andy is now just opted to go ahead. Andy's on tilt.
Oh, without a doubt.
Mike the V's on to stage 3 of Ganon.
As close of a race as this was, this shows you that execution is not necessarily everything. This race came down to a single decision. Andy deciding not to check Mimic Cave at Turtle Rock. He knew he needed a sword upgrade, but I'm
Mike
sure
V gets Ganon over the corner, has to be careful, but gets him down, and Mike the V is moving on to the round of 8.
Just a moment here, we'll be able to give the official Speedruns Live time for Mike the V. But again, single decisions, and you've got to think it was because he didn't feel he had the time to spare against the caliber of opponent he was up against. Rick, what was the official time for Mike the V?
And he finishes with an official SRL time of 1:26:02. Mike the V wins the series 2-0.
Oh, and Andy is key locked out of the right side of Ganon's tower.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely. Just no words to describe this race, and the other word would be heartbreaking.
Just the fact that that we know of, there are no sword upgrades here in Ganon's tower.
No, not at all. And Andy has done a dot forfeit, conceding this race, obviously, to Mike the V.
And he's just doing. He pretty much is now just doing a glitched exhibition now for us.
He may be glitching to find a sword upgrade.
He's just glitching to get his way to the Triforce.
Not the way we wanted to. A stray piece of fart falling from the sky there.
I've never seen that before.
Neither have I.
And Andy here just continuing to glitch. Hey, there's Ganon.
Oh, well, there we go. So Andy finishes runs live time of 30 minutes and 15 seconds. There we go.
Andy finishes second place with an official SRL time of... Nope, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you for playing. Again, not the way anyone wanted to see this end, but that's the breaks when it comes to randomizer, because it's so much about decision making.
And he's saying in the IRC, another dumb one-item thing I chose not to do, which he was talking about in regards to the catfish, which, we talked about the Mimic Cave, but the catfish was also another big decision here that hurt Andy early.
Right. And, and that may be what Andy's referring to about that one item that's out of the way that he chose not to do. He may have been referring exactly to catfish. I don't know if he knows yet that... Okay, no. Somebody did say in the chat after he forfeited that Mimic Cave was the difference. So,
well, Mimic Cave was a difference at the very end. Like, this thing came into 3 different segments of the race.
Right.
The second segment came down to the decision of the catfish versus going into Thieves Town. The third segment was the Mimic Cave thing.
Chat now calling for a best of 7.
I actually would love to see that, but unfortunately under the tournament rules, we can't do that.
Nope. just like I said, these past two races have shown you what good execution and good decision making are really like. Although we all know that it was the wrong decision not to go into Mimic Cave, it's certainly a decision that, percentage-wise, is the right one. But got some questions in the chat. Are there more matches tonight? Yes, we have one more match coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. It is game 2 of the series we had last night, and I do not want my old man memory to fail me, so let me double check exactly who it is. Yes, it is Jet82 versus Jet082 versus Aaron Doby coming up after this race. Currently scheduled for 10 o'clock, but there may be a possibility of that coming on earlier.
I do want to point out that is actually going to be on Speed Gaming 2 is coming up at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock here on Speed Gaming 1 will be Donkey Kong Country.
Right. Well, we are joined now in the chat by Andy.
Hey.
I have no words, man. I have no words.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking. The tempered sword was in Mimic Cave.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's the only other sword that we had seen throughout this entire run. So, it just came down to sword play, but also you had a hard time getting over to Catfish until you got the Pyramid Bomb.
I didn't have a hard time. I just chose not to do it. It was one item that's like a minute and a half out of the way compared to checking all of Right Side Death Mountain.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I lost to another one item that's out of the way thing yesterday too. It happens. Old logic blows. But yeah, then checking Ganon's Tower, I was like, I have to check more stuff. And then at some point I was like, I can't waste any more time checking downstairs. So I just went upstairs and didn't get anything. So.
And then you got key locked in the tile room. And that was when you just decided to forfeit and glitch to the Triforce, which we all loved.
Yep.
That was possibly the best way to end that after the dive forfeit. So we really appreciated that. I made up your official speedrun live time being 1:30:15 or something like that. So
Nice.
So you're good. But obviously not the way that you wanted your tournament to end, but your execution, just like last night, completely on point. Some sick hovers again, and as I pointed out, the only reason you didn't hover past Moldorm 2 is because you were hoping for a sword upgrade in the validation chest.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Sometimes I hover during the Moldorm blowing up animation, but it's really laggy and I drop it a lot, so I decided not to.
What I did love is once after the result became official, you gave us a quick glitched exhibition as you made it right over to the Triforce.
Yeah, figured I'd at least, finish, quote unquote.
May not have necessarily been inbounds, but you finished. Now, there's not much I can say besides the fact that you're a phenomenal Link to the Past player, as well as a Link to the Past randomizer runner. So, just got hit with a little bit of tough luck with the mirror being at the Catfish and no sword increases except for Mimic Cave.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would have played it any differently had I gotten mirror earlier. I would have checked more Ganon's Tower because I wouldn't have felt like it was as close because I thought everything I did up until that point was really good. But yeah, if there wasn't a sword in Ganon's Tower, I would have been in the same predicament. I would have just actually killed Aghanim too, and then tried to find a sword, I guess. But it happens. Me and Mike are both very good. It's a tough third round matchup, and the winner of this match has a tough road ahead of them too. So
Yeah, the winner of this match takes on either Christos Owen or Yunos, and that's going to be a barn burner here in that best of 3 series. A lot of great matches. It does not get easy. It doesn't get any easier the remainder of this tournament.
Nope. A lot of once the higher runners start advancing farther, it's pretty much just, who decides to. It's like that one decision in every seed that someone wins or loses on.
That's exactly the point that I've made before too, is that you can have 2 guys with amazing execution, but the decision making, it can be to the point where sometimes it can render execution irrelevant in a randomizer.
Yep, and that's what makes Randomizer so fun.
Yeah, well, definitely fun to watch. Sometimes maybe not so much fun to play.
And now, unfortunately, with you being rubbed out of the tournament, you're going to be joining us in the commentary booth a little more?
Possibly. We'll see.
That'll be exciting. Guys, give it up for Andy and Mike the V. They gave us 2 great races. And what was a great best of 3? It's just a shame this was only a best of 3 series.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, anything else you want to add, Andy?
Nope.
All right, let's give it up for Andy as well as Mike the V, both runners here. Great run, great pair of races. Phantom Rio, you had a chance to commentate over both of these races. A lot of fun, wasn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. Just watching these guys, and again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but with their incredibly impressive execution, makes it a joy to watch and commentate. And it also, it doesn't hurt that both of them have very good decision making as well, because even though, the decision not to go into Mimic Cave, like I said before, wasn't the right one, it was still the right one based on the knowledge that the runner had, right? And considering the competition and all of those things. So you can't say, oh, that was a bad decision. No, it was only a bad decision because we knew what the outcome was.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for us here on Speed Gaming for Link to the Past Randomizer, the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. There will be another race coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern in about 16 minutes from now. That will be over on Speed Gaming 2, where we'll give control of the reins here to the Donkey Kong Country tournament that's going on. So stay tuned for that, coming up in just about 10-15 minutes from now here on this channel. Link to the Past Randomizer coming up in about 15 minutes on Speed Gaming 2. So Phantom Ryu, you go ahead and take us on out of here. I'm Adirondack Rick. Thank you for joining us.
And I am Phantom Ryu. Thanks to everyone for watching us tonight. Again, absolutely make sure that you follow Andy and Mike the V here on Twitch. They have proven to you that they are outstanding players and runners of this game. They deserve your follows. They deserve your views. Follow Speed Gaming 2. We have more Link to the Past Randomizer tournament action coming up for you here over on Speed Gaming 2. Do not miss it. Or if you want to watch the Donkey Kong Country, there are some phenomenal runners playing Donkey Kong Country as well here on Speed Gaming. So thanks, everybody.
Actually, I do want to interrupt you for one last moment. Also, thank you to our tracker, Emma, who stepped in and helped us out with the tracking.
Oh, without a doubt. Follow her at Metatron.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.